What's good, y'all? I'm Lonnie Appleton. I'm a healthy family advocate. I am here Monday through Saturday when time permits. I'm getting busy, but I am committed to showing up when I can. 12 noon Mountain Standard Time. It is presently 12:09, and we are going to read the Bible. What's between this cover and this cover? This is New International Translation, NIV. And I am reading from that. Out. You can come back when I'm finished, okay? And I read from that perspective. No, not right now. Please leave. You're not listening. I want you to choose to listen. See, you're still finding to do something besides what I said, so just listen. But did I tell you to do that? I just told you to leave, so listen. I know, you're a big boy. Let's do big boy things. And when you're told, you listen the first time. And you going out there and throwing it like that is not what you're going to do. Go put it in your toy box, okay? Thank you. What's good, y'all? Welcome to Bible study. Hey, Regina. We are back at it. I have had a time. And so, after taking a long break, and this is a lesson in resiliency. This is a lesson in continuing to show up. This is a lesson in, if you make a commitment, especially a commitment to self, are you going to continue the commitment even though the energy is off of it? And I'm not going to say the energy is off of me reading the Bible. What I will say is, when I tend to take breaks from things, I tend not to go back. It's like, hey, Ree, the energy is there and I'm in the energy and I'm in the excitement. And then once I break the energy of the excitement of I'm doing this, like going to the gym, and you're going to the gym, and at one time you take a day off, then you're like, okay, gym, day off. Gym, day off. Gym, day off, day off. Gym, day off, day off. Gym, day off, day off, day off. Gym, day off, day off, day off. I thought you were going to the gym. Yeah. So this is a lesson in commitment to self, continuing to show up to self. And also, are you being in spirit or are you being inspired? If you're being in spirit, then even after you break, you still go back to it, right? If you're being inspired, to me, that's externally, which means it's a desire that you want to do. And it's something that you want to do, but you don't want to do it yet. So I really love the fact that yesterday I had a conversation with myself and I said, okay, I might not read the Bible tomorrow because I have so much stuff to do. Like, it's just like, I got to be here, 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 I got to be here just to keep this thing cycling forward. But it's like, you made a promise to yourself, you made a promise to God, and you actually are seeing the fruits of you showing up for yourself every chance you get. God has made, because remember, with the Israelites, God said, this is what it is. And every time the Israelites messed up, Moses and Aaron at the time, but Aaron he went up in the mountain and we ain't seen Aaron no more. But, they went as intercessories and they prayed on behalf of the Israelites and said, yo, give them another chance, give them another chance. So God made a little, okay. God showed some flexibility in what God said needs to happen. So when God mandated for me to come on live Monday through Saturday, 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time to read the Bible, at the time I had nothing to do. And this is also a test, right? Yeah, we can show up for ourselves. We ain't got nothing else to do. But when things start happening, can you still show up for yourself? And then that's the ultimate test, especially if you made a promise to God, which I did. I had a full-on conversation with God. And I promised. I was like, look, if this is what you want me to do, I will continue to do your work as long as you give me mine. Like, this is an equal exchange partnership. This isn't you take from me and I don't get anything in return. So I told God, I'll continue to show up for you if you continue to show up for me. And God is beginning to show up for me in big ways. And I know I know that this is a piece of it. I don't know if it's actually the reading of the Bible, even though what I'm reading in the Bible is paralleling my life, or if just keeping my promise to God is why energetically things are starting to open up. But I will say, when I paid my tithes and I paid my first fruit, energetically, stuff opened up. So if you guys aren't paying your tithes, I had first fruit because I just got a job. So some people, you know, when I was going to church, it was first fruits at the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, the first of what you earn, I don't know the percentage, but, you know, bring your best ram and your calf and your best sheep to the altar. What is it? And we know how the sacrifices need to come with the first fruit without defect. It splashed the blood on the wall. We've been in this Bible something tough. But anyway, with that said, I'm happy to be back. I'm going to, you know, I'm imagining I'm going to be on private jets one day reading the Bible. You know, I'm going to be, you know, backstage reading the Bible. I'm going to be everywhere reading the Bible. If I'm available at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I am committed to reading the Bible until we finish the Bible. And we got a lot of Bible to go. So let me stop running my mouth. We are on Deuteronomy 9, not because of Israel's righteousness. Y'all know my eyes be on their thing. Thank you, friend. Hear, Israel, you are now about to cross the Jordan to go and dispossess. I've never seen that word. And dispossess nations greater and stronger than you. Dispossess. We dispossessing in 2024. We dethroning everybody. The righteous will be placed where they need to be placed, even though this ain't for Israel's righteousness. We righteous. Maybe. Thank you, God, for choosing us. Let's just leave it at that. The chosen people, right? It ain't because we're righteous, it's because we're chosen. Going to depossess nations greater and stronger than you, with large cities that have walls up to the sky. The people are strong and tall. And Anakites. You know, I'm sorry, y'all, my eyes are doing what they want to do. You know about them and have heard it said, who can stand up against the Anakites? But be assured today, let me just use my finger, that the Lord your God is the one who goes across ahead of you like a devouring fire. He will destroy them. He will subdue them before you, and you will drive them out and annihilate them quickly. So the Lord has promised you. No weapon formed against me. After the Lord your God has driven them out before you, do not say to yourself, the Lord has brought me here to take possession of this land because of my righteousness. That's right. Let's not be full of ourselves. Why did God bless us the way that God blessed us? Let's find out. No, it is on account of the wickedness of those nations that the Lord is going to drive them out before you. So there are people in places that you're supposed to be sitting and they ain't doing what they're supposed to be doing. So they about to be dethroned. So when you are building your big vision and creating your next reality, and you're like, oh, but there's already a president of the United States. If the president of the United States ain't doing what they doing, get ready, because you're the next president, because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. God, apparently, you know, I don't know. Maybe God chooses favorites. Maybe you're the favorite right now because you're doing what you're supposed to. I don't know. But apparently, whoever's in the position where you headed, they about to get dethroned because they are not valuing it at the capacity that they should. That's the way I read that. How you interpret it. It's all interpretation. Nation that the Lord is going to drive them out before you. It is but not the righteousness, integrity, the righteousness or your integrity that you are going in to take possession of their land, but on account of their wickedness, the wickedness of the nation, the Lord your God will drive them out before you to accomplish what he swore to your father, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So understand the promise that you are walking into this lifetime, it was promised to other people in other lifetimes. You know what I'm saying? How I'm receiving that is, look, somebody had to hold the position until you were prepared for the position. So there were a placeholder. There's a placeholder in your spot, but they about to get dethroned. What's up, Tax Pearl? Understand then that it is not because of your righteousness that the Lord your God is giving you this good land to possess, for you are a stiff-necked people. I can see that.
I'll be back here.
The golden calf. Remember this and never forget how you aroused the anger of the Lord your God in the wilderness. For the day you left Egypt until you arrived here, you have been rebellious against the Lord. I have. I'm working on it. At Horeb, you aroused the Lord's wrath so that he was angry enough to destroy you. He was ready to take y'all out. What happened then? When I went up on the mountain to receive the tablets of stone, the tablets of the covenant that the Lord had made with you, I stayed in the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. I ate no bread and drank no water. Can you drink no water for 40 days? Whew, I guess so. Moses did it. The Lord gave me 2 stone tablets inscribed by the finger of God. God inscribed the tablets. Did y'all know that? That's some power. Let me see. Where are we at? On them were all the commandments the Lord proclaimed to you on the mountain out of the fire, on the day of the assembly. At the end of the 40 days and 40 nights, the Lord gave me the 2 stone tablets, the tablets of the covenant. Then the Lord told me, go down from here at once, because your people, whom you brought out of Egypt, have become corrupt. They have turned away quickly from what I commanded them and have made an idol for themselves. O Lord. And the Lord said to me, I have seen this people, and they are a stiff-necked people. Oh, my allergies kicking my butt. The dog is right there, and I'm allergic to dogs. But the dog loves me, and I love the dog. I don't know what kind of soul connection me and this dog have. But as soon as I walked into the shelter, my eyes went shh. And I saw the dog. And then I walked up to the dog, and the dog started, wagging his tail, and I put my finger up, and it was happy. This dog has been by my side ever since. Like, for real, will stand between me and other people and start growling. And I know we're breaking it of that habit. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is this dog is my protector. So it's interesting that this dog came into my life at this time. It's interesting that my daughter bought the dog, but it's my dog. I'm not taking ownership. I'm Gigi Ma. But this dog is right here. Like, this dog has some sort of attachment to me. So I wonder who this dog is or what. It could be one of my past dogs, or it could be a past family member. It could be someone I don't know in this lifetime. But this dog knows me, and this dog is fiercely protective of me. And I have to really work with my children, because he growls at all the kids and actually snaps at one of them. He don't like Angel. Alfalfa does not like Angel. And I was like, yeah, because her energy ain't right. Alfalfa's like, you better get it right if you're going to be a part of this family. Everybody got to get their energy right in the Taylor Appleton household. I'm not playing. I'm done playing them games. Everybody got to get their energy right in order for us to enter into the promised land. So y'all better get y'all stuff together, because we are standing on the other side of the Jordan waiting on they behind to get their stuff together. And Alfalfa showed up to be my energy detector. And Alfalfa's like, that one right there. Keep doing the work. Thank you, Ree. All right. So I turned and went down from the mountain while it was ablaze with fire, and the 2 tablets of the covenant were in my hand. When I looked, I saw what you had sinned against, whatever. Let me read it again. When I looked, I saw that you had sinned against the Lord your God. You had made for yourself an idol cast in the shape of a calf. You had turned aside quickly from the way that the Lord had commanded you. So I took the 2 tablets and threw them out of my hands, breaking them to pieces before your eyes. I am so thankful. Let's listen to that. So I took the 2 tablets. So Moses saw what they did, and so Moses chose to break the tablets. I am happy that Moses did not say, I saw what you did, so you made me. I'm happy Moses took accountability. I get tired of people saying, you made me. I didn't make you do nothing. I didn't make you do nothing. Then once again I fell prostrate before the Lord for 40 days and 40 nights. I ate no bread and drank no water. So for 80 days, this man didn't drink no bread and didn't drink no water. Did he get a meal before he went back up there? I need to know, but this was some urgent stuff. So I'm thinking he went right back up. It was like, whoo, got to intercede for these people. But He ain't ate or drank nothing in 80 days. I'm wondering how emaciated he looked. I like that word. That word just popped in my head, emaciate. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but it sounds good. Because of all the sin you had committed, doing what was evil in the Lord's sight, and so aroused his anger. I feared the anger and wrath of the Lord, for he was angry enough with you to destroy you. But again, the Lord listened to me. And the Lord was angry enough with Aaron to destroy him. Dang, took Aaron out. I told you Aaron went up in the mountain and didn't come back. But at that time I prayed for Aaron too. Also I took that sinful thing of yours, the calf you had made, and burned it in the fire. Then I crushed it and grounded it into powder as fine as dust, and threw that dust into a stream that flowed down the mountain. Now, I'm not saying I'm Team Jesus. I'm not saying I'm not Team Jesus. I just don't like how those who believe in Jesus are just like, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Like, everybody can get into this game, in my opinion. And the reason why I say that, if it wasn't for Jesus interceding on our behalf, if it wasn't for our ancestors being a shield between us and the sheer wrath of God, the things that could be happening to us in this physical world, we don't even know what's happening to us in the energetic world that we're being protected for. We don't understand that there's a full-on battle going in the energy world, the spirit world, that we are protected from. You don't know what you're being protected from, but all you got to do is thank your spirit team, whoever it is, whether it's Jesus, whether it's your ancestors, whether it's your angels, whether it's your guides. They are interceding on your behalf. They are prostrating before the Lord and saying, please forgive them. Give them another opportunity. So that's why you need to honor spirit, whatever that looks like. Not just for the things that are manifesting in your physical reality, but honor spirit for things seen and unseen. Honor spirit for being the buffer between you and God. Even though we are God, we are God's essence, we are God energy, we are God, however you receive it. That don't take us away, that does not alleviate that which crafted and created us. Don't like what we out here doing. And it is only by the grace of our energy fields between us and them that we are still walking this earth. And I believe that to be true, because y'all really think that angels, demons, Jesus, Mother Mary, all of these people, you think they ceased walking the earth simply? You think Jesus rose in 3 days and just stopped existing, like went and sat on a cloud somewhere? No. I believe angels walk this earth with us. I believe demons walk this earth with us. I believe Jesus is somewhere at any given time walking this earth with us. I believe that God can choose at any given time to come and walk this earth with us. So for us to look at everybody like they're another human. My cousin used to say all the time, you never know when you're entertaining angels. So treat everyone fairly. You don't know when God is like, this is the test. How you gonna play it? You treated that person a certain way because they were dressed a certain way, looked a certain way, talked a certain way. I was watching this video because me and a friend of mine were gonna start, working together. And when we start working together, he sent me this video and he was like, look, they're already doing this. At first when he said that, I was like, ain't nobody doing what I'm doing because can't nobody do what I do. And that's not me being full of myself. That's those of you who've been rocking with me. You already know who do what I do. Don't nobody do what I do because I'm getting it from here. All these people just running their mouths, which is cool. It's the energy. And so he sent me the video. He was like, well, research this. And I was like, I'll watch a couple because I already know if spirit don't tell me to do it, I don't do it. But I was like, let me see what they out here doing. Let me see what's possible. Because these people going on tour across the nation, popping their stuff on the stage. So let me see. Nobody. I'm telling you in my Keith Sweat voice, I'm saying. So, these people are traveling the nation. And so on the stage, doing a version of what I'm creating. They're not doing what I'm creating, but they're doing a version of what I'm creating. Regardless, this young man stood up and said something about if women have intuition and they know when their man is cheating, how come they don't use their intuition to know that their man is unhappy? And the woman on the panel said, yada yada, whatever she said. But to discredit what he said, she said, well, first you're talking intuition and emotion. You're talking two separate things. So there's that. And so the whole crowd went crazy because she said some slick stuff. Are we here to heal? Are we here to prove points? Are we here to heal? Are we here to get sound bites? Are we here to heal? Are we here to, I don't care what language you use, you're using the language and the connection that you're able to use. But what you're saying is, if you can pick up on the fact that your man is cheating, how come you can't pick up on the fact that he's unhappy? Intuition, emotion or not, because it's both the same thing while you want to be a smart aleck. You know when your man's unhappy because you feel it. That's intuition. You ain't got to read no emotion. You feel it energetically. That nigga can have a smile on his face and you feel it energetically. So he wasn't lying, but you want to be so popping of your stuff, be right, and somebody got to be wrong. So they out there doing it, but they ain't doing it. They ain't doing it to heal. They doing it to keep the mess up. So me and my friend are going to pop off and we going to be on that healing stuff. Me from the female perspective, him from the male perspective. He got a lot of growing to do. He don't even know. He about to sit down. He don't think we being, interviewing people and we just sitting there talking. No, son, I'm about to take you into a counseling session real quick because you think you know, but you have no idea. He's going to grow me too, but I don't know why I started talking about that. Let's keep reading. This is getting good. You also made the Lord angry at Taberah, at Massa, and at Kabroth Hadavah. Man, my eyes ain't working and they got the words. It's a double doozy today. And when the Lord sent you out from Kadesh Barnea, he said, go up and take possession of the land I have given you. But you rebelled against the command of the Lord. I remember. Y'all remember? They came back and gave that false report. I remember. But you rebelled against the command of the Lord, your God. You did not trust him or obey him. You have been rebellious against the Lord ever since I have known you. Who can sit here and admit that they have been rebellious against God? I can. I truly have lived the life that I thought I was supposed to live up until intentionally, because under the surface, I've always been led to this space, right? I wouldn't be in this space if the steps that I've been taking in my life, known or unknown, have not led me to this space. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be. So even if you don't know if you're exactly where you're supposed to be, no matter when you click in, because you have to click in, right? Because we have free will, so we can do what we want to, and we can do what the Lord calls for us to do in this lifetime. But once you click in, it's like compressing time, right? It's like, shoo. Once I clicked in 2023, I went through a portal. I've been saying this since I've been saying this. Ree knows because Ree been here since the beginning. I've been saying this. When the Black Girl Follow Train happened, we all went through a portal. Ree, you went through the portal too. That's how we all found each other. We all went through a portal. That was a very magical being. We all are experienced. We all need to thank Sis because she was not the person, but the vehicle that God used in order to create this space. And that is something God is very, very heavy on me for me to know that it is not Lonnie. It is not Lonnie who is doing anything. Like, I'm going to take my credit because, like, God needs the vehicle. How you going to do it without me, God? And God's like, how you going to do it without me? Partner. So it's a partnership. So we got to thank Sis because if it wasn't for Sis, we wouldn't be here. If Sis had not followed the inspiration, because we have free will. If Sis hadn't followed the inspiration where she woke up and she made that sound bite, she was like, let's start a Black Girl Follow Train now. How many trends do we start and they never take off? How many trends have we been told to start, myself included, because I'm told all the time to start a trend. I'm like, this ain't going to go nowhere. Why bother? But that was the one trend that she was like, I'll do it. And it took off. Well, the energy associated with that We went through it, and it brought us as Black women all together, and it brought us to a space of one accord. And the conversation that we're able to have as Black women and as people, but I'm speaking of the Black Girl Follow train, and the what needs to take place to create the change necessary in our community. The energy. We went from when people would say the language, but I'm going to use the language, it's the Black woman's fault. Went from saying, and having all these, why you blaming me and I'm doing the best that I can, what I can. We're not discrediting that. But the state of our community is on the backs of whoever's raising the community, and who's raising the community largely but the Black women. Even if there's 2 parents in the home, do you understand that there are 2 phone numbers on my child's chart for the school to call in event that my son is acting up? And right before I went live, the teacher called me. I was like, can I give you his dad's phone number? And then they called the dad. So the mother is largely raising these children. So the state of the world, our Black community, is on our backs and in our hands. And don't we want to control everything anyway? We want to be in control of the positive things, but we don't want to take credit for the negative things. Yeah, we created this too. If we created perfection, we would be beating our chest. Not right now. If we created perfection, we'd be beating our chest right now. But what we created based off of the trap, right? We created this. So we got to work through it. And so the energy of the space that we're in opens us up to receive that message. And if we can receive the message, not get caught on the delivery, and really check ourselves, we can start doing this work. And that's what we've been called to do. So have I been doing it? No, I've been off path. But when the Black Girl Follow train happened, I went into boot camp from December 2022 to December 2023. I went into extreme boot camp. Those of you who have watched me, I put up a video of what I used to look like. I looked at how I used to look. I was like, I look sick. But you don't know you look sick until you start looking healthy. I didn't know I looked that bad. Now, I also put up a video in my Facebook memories yesterday, and my booty was bootying. I was like, oh, that one hurts. But when you decide to do what God called you to do, it's like warp speed. But you got to be ready to do the work. The amount of work that is necessary for you to get on path when you have spent a lifetime off path breaks people. Literally breaks you down, because you have taken a lifetime of free will, and now you're doing God's will, and your free will was not God's will, so you must be broken of all that stuff. And depending on how fast you are ready to be ready, I told God, I'm ready. I went through a lifetime. I'm 42. I went through a lifetime in 1 year. And that's why me and my husband are hanging by a thread, because he's just like, you're not who I married. I'm like, I know. Because I was on Lonnie's time, and now I'm on God's time, and it looked real different. So, I can sit here and admit that I haven't been pleasing to God for a lot of my life, but I've always been on path, whether I knew it or not, because I wouldn't be here today. It was one that we all needed. We all needed that portal, girl. That's why I get so excited when I capture 111, because that is symbolic of, that's an angel number that says you're going through a portal. And so whenever I see 111, for me, that is spirit just nodding to me, saying you're still in flow. You know what I'm saying? Keep going. You're still in flow. You're doing what you're supposed to do. We're going to get through chapter 9, I promise. I lay prostrate before the Lord those 40 days and 40 nights because the Lord had said he would destroy you. I prayed to the Lord and said, Sovereign Lord, do not destroy your people, your own inheritance, that you redeemed by your great power and brought out of Egypt with a mighty hand. Remember your servants Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Overlook the stubbornness of this people, their wickedness and their sin. Otherwise, the country from which you brought us will say, because the Lord was not able to take them into the land he had promised them, and because he hated them, he brought them out to put them to death in the wilderness. And that's what I tell God. That's what I tell God. No, please let me go. Please, get off of the toy. You're making unnecessary noise in the background. That's what I tell God. I was like, I don't put your stamp on this, right or wrong. Like, I could be wrong. But, I'm just like, something got to happen because I done said you done brought me out here. I'm like, I'm doing God's work. And people watching to see, okay, let me see what your God can do. So, I'd appreciate people being able to see, myself included. I'm not doubting it. I know what it is. But trust and believe there's people watching me, not because they're celebrating me, but they want to see if God truly is who she says God is. And that's why God has asked me, one, to read the Bible on live. One, to demonstrate that we all need to be reading our Bible. We all need to be reading whatever our holy text is. My holy text at present, with the comprehension level that I have, is the Bible. I've tried to read other holy texts and I just don't know what the heck is going on, but I can decipher this. So whatever your holy text is, you need to get into your holy text, spiritual or not. You don't have to follow any particular religion. This is not a religion. This is a spiritual text that you can utilize to increase your connectivity with your higher self. And as you read these books, your holy books, and you get to know God for yourself and create your own relationship with God based off of God's word, and we know there's lies in here. We're not here to argue that. But what we're saying is, as you commune with God and you're in that energy and you start deciphering and discerning who they are for yourself, God opens up for you. And since I say that, I was like, okay, God, people watching. We got to do something. Because this is here to inspire you to grow closer with your God. But they are your people, your inheritance, but you brought out by your great power and your outstretched arm. Chapter 10. I told you he was going to make it after chapter 9. Chapter 10. Tablets like the first ones. At that time the Lord said to me, chisel out 2 stone tablets like the first one and come up to me on the mountain. Also make a wooden ark. I will write on the tablets the word that were on the first tablets which you broke. Then you are to put them in the ark. So I made the ark out of acacia wood. Please don't go into the measurements. And chiseled out 2 stone tablets like the first ones. And I went up in the mountains with the 2 tablets in my hands. The Lord wrote on the tablets what he had written before, the 10 commandments he had proclaimed to you on the mountain out of the fire on the day of the assembly, and the Lord gave them to me. Then I came back down the mountain and put the tablets in the ark I had made, as the Lord commanded me, and they are there now. The Israelites traveled from the wells of Ben Jacan to Masara. There Aaron died and was buried, and Eleazar his son succeeded him as priest. From there they traveled to Gudgodah and on to Jotbatha, a land with streams of water. At this time the Lord set apart the tribe. Now I'm going to say this. It wasn't all roses, but it wasn't all thorns and thickets either. So on your journey to your promised land, it's not going to be all roses, but it's also not going to be all thorns and thickets. So what that means is, as you travel, you are going to encounter what seems like the promised land. You have to discern, is this what God promised you in this lifetime? If God just restores my finances and opens it up so we could get a little more, it ain't all roses. But it was roses, but it wasn't all thorns and thickets. So, it could be a little bit. Okay, I said that correctly. Anyway, you decide on your way to the promised land, because there's going to be levels to the promised land. While the Israelites were out there, they went into Jotbatha, a land with streams of water. So some people could have been like, oh, you know what is a great example? The Land Before Time. Y'all remember that movie? We grew up with that movie. The little, the dinosaurs, it was the end of times or whatever. And the little dinosaurs were looking for the Great Valley. And so they kept going and going because everything was desolate. They were looking for food. And I remember there's a scene where they go and they see all these trees and they're like, it's the Great Valley. And one of them, I can't remember the name, and they're all like, it's the Great Valley. And then these other bigger dinosaurs come and they eat up all the trees real quick before they could get to them. And then, Ducky's like, it's not the Great Valley. Nope, nope, nope. I love Ducky. But what I'm saying is they came up on this land before they made it to the land, the Great Valley, flowing with milk and honey. And they were like, we made it. And every time something presents itself that kind of looks like it, you can decide if that's where you want to settle, because the Israelites, some of them have settled. Remember, they were like, can we just set our families up here? And God was like, as long as you cross over the Jordan, your men cross over the Jordan with the people, you can go back to where you settled. So you can choose to settle. I posted in my stories, Harriet Tubman had to leave her husband. Harriet Tubman you stink. Harriet Tubman had to leave her husband behind because his great valley, his promised land, was the deep south as a free black man. That was his pinnacle. He didn't believe anything else was possible, so he stopped there. But Harriet Tubman had a promise on her heart where she knew that there was more. So she fought for more, and she risked her life for more. She did. She believed God for the unknown, and she kept pushing forward. She really did go through thistles and thickets. You know what I'm saying? Swamps and poisonous snakes. When we hear that story, we don't think about she was out there in the wilderness. She was out there in the woods. She was out there with wolves. She was out there with bears. She was out there with poisonous snakes and bugs. She was out there for real, for real. Like before extinction, before overpopulation, before animal control. She was out there in the unknown, fighting for what she believed God promised her. And at any time, she could have stopped. But she didn't stop. She came back for more. So we got to decide, are we going to keep going just because something starts feeling good and looking good? Or are we going to keep going for what God promised us in this lifetime? I'm going to keep going for what God promised me in this lifetime. And I'm going to keep coming back for more. That's why I show up every day at 12 noon Mount Standard Time. Because I'm coming back for everybody who's ready to come. Thank you, Ree. At that time, the Lord set apart the tribe of Levi to carry the ark of the covenant of the Lord, to stand before the Lord, to minister and to pronounce blessings in his name, as they still do today. This is why the Levites have no share of or inheritance among their fellow Israelites. The Lord is that, look, I'll kill you. I'm just going to let you know, so please stay away from me. The Lord is their inheritance, as the Lord your God told them. Now I had stayed in the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights, as I did the first time, and the Lord listened to me at this time also. It was not his will to destroy you. Go, the Lord said to me, and lead the people on their way, so that they may enter and possess the land I swore to their ancestors to give them. Fear the Lord. And now, Israel, what does the Lord your God ask of you but to fear the Lord your God, to walk in obedience to him, to love him, to serve the Lord your God with all your heart and with all of your soul, and to observe the Lord's commands and decrees that I am giving you today to your own good. Ain't that easy work, though? That's easy work. All God wants is for you to walk in obedience to him, to love him, to serve the Lord your God with all of your heart and all of your soul. What else you doing? What else you doing? Than to figure out how to show up for God so God could show up for you. It's a partnership. To the Lord your God belong the heavens, even the highest heavens, the earth, and even the highest heavens. Are there levels to heavens? I just need to know. Gotta hop off for a bit. I appreciate you, Ree. We're gonna be done in 15 minutes as well. I gotta keep tight time today because I got so much stuff I gotta get done. Yet the Lord set his affection on your ancestors and loved them, and he chose you, their descendants, above all the nations. So that means everybody who is walking this world, this earth, who believes that they're walking with God, they're not, because they are chosen. So do we think God stopped choosing people? And we think that if we go get dipped in the water and we proclaim that Jesus is our Lord and Savior, all of a sudden we walk with God, but we have made zero changes within our lives except for the topical feel-good stuff. But aside from that, we believe if we just go dipped in the water and we proclaim that Jesus Christ is Lord, then we walk with God. I don't think it's that easy, especially based off of what we see here. I don't believe it's that easy. I don't think that God... I'm going to keep reading because I ain't made it to the New Testament. I have not made it to when Jesus enters the chat. But even though Jesus entered the chat, I don't believe God was like, yeah, just come to me any kind of way, just accept Jesus, I'll take you. I don't believe it's that easy. We'll see though. As it is today, circumcise your hearts. Is that what that says? As it is today, yeah, that says circumcise your hearts. Therefore, did I skip anything? To the Lord your God belong the heavens, even the highest. Yet the Lord set his affection on your ancestors and loved them, and he chose you, their descendants, above all the nations, as it is today. Okay, circumcise your hearts, therefore, and do not be stiff-necked any longer. For the Lord your God is God of gods and Lords of lords, the great God, mighty and awesome, who shows no partiality and accepts no bribes. He defends the cause of the fatherless and the widow and loves the foreigner residing among you, giving them food and clothes. And you are to love those who are foreigners, for you yourself were foreigners in Egypt. Fear the Lord your God and serve you. Hold fast to him and take your oaths in his name. He is the one you praise. He is your God who performed for you those great and awesome wonders you saw with your own eyes. Your ancestors who went down into Egypt were 70 in all. And now the Lord your God has made you as numerous as the stars in the sky. So I'm going to say, I don't think that there's, sinuses. I don't think there's a cheat code to God. But I think anyone can lock into relationship with God, the covenant with God, moving in God's energy. Anyone can access it. Many are called, but the chosen are few, though, because the work necessary to truly move in alignment with your divinity destroys the world that you created. Unless you have been on path your entire life doing God's will in a space of free will, knowing that God's will isn't warm and fuzzy and doesn't feel good. Many are called, but the chosen are few. Because ain't nobody really willing to, one, in the world of groupthink, willing to be the odd man out. And two, in the world of worldly possessions, willing to release that which they accumulated in this physical world in hopes of the unknown, something that they've never seen. No one has ever seen the process. We see the outcome. We see a Tabitha Brown. We see a Keith Lee. And we hear their stories. And I don't know. I haven't followed them. But, I just say their names because I know those are people who have risen through social media, as I am. But I don't know if they did it in the way that I'm doing, which means I'm actually analyzing the process of the rise. It's not just you watching the rise and I'm doing all of my things in secret. I'm reading the Bible in secret and, I'm with my ancestor altar and I'm telling you, I have an ancestor altar. So you think I'm doing anything ritualistic, which means ritualistic means over and over and over again. You have a habit of it. No. I'm at my altar when I'm at my altar. When we bought the dog, I invited the ancestors in. It wasn't any type of thing except for, hey, we got a new family member. Lit my candles, invited the family members in. And, I alter the way that I alter. Stop looking for your practices to mimic anyone else's practices. If you see someone practices online because you're developing your spiritual identity, because that's what it is, right? As you develop your spiritual identity, it is for you to see other people and to see what is possible, not to do what they do. So when I look at other people who we have seen with partnership in God based off of what they're saying and what they're displaying, I don't know if they're doing it from a space of, hey, this is what I'm doing, you know, or are they just doing it and you're just seeing the fruits, but we don't see the behind the scenes. So I do believe that I'm one of the first to be showing the behind the scenes of how you grow in relationship with God, how you develop that relationship with God. And so now you can watch and you can actually see how God is going to take me from this bed to stages in front of millions, teaching not only God's word, but teaching people how to live in alignment with God and to how to use that connectivity with Source to power them into this lifetime and to achieve that which was promised to them in this lifetime. I am demonstrating that. I'm showing you how. And you guys can go to the beginning of my content 1,000 videos back, or you could just go hop over on YouTube as the apple turns. I am transferring all of my old videos over there so that you can watch the beginnings, the Black Girl Follow Train. You can watch all of the origins of what you see today, how this all started. I looked different, I spoke different. The word I didn't even say God. I say God 50,000 times a day now. I didn't even say God then. You know what I'm saying? I'm still coming to a space of being okay with saying Jesus. That's why I was like, I mess with Jesus, but because I got some trauma in relation to Jesus. But I'm sure once Jesus enters the chat, I'm like, in Jesus, and Jesus, and Jesus, because I was able to work through my trauma. But the way that Jesus is presented to us in this physical world, in this present reality, the people have caused me to hold a bias. And so I'm excited to get to know Jesus for myself. So I'm Lonnie Appleton. I'm a healthy family advocate. I advocate for the healthy restoration of our families. How we restore our families is we start with ourselves. And as we move with ourselves, then we can move into our family units. You're going to experience something as you transition and transfer your family into the space that you feel is right for you. Some of you will realize that in your free will, you created an entire family and you got to figure out what to do with that family. I created this family because this family is an instrumental piece in this work that I'm doing in this lifetime. How can I heal the Black family if I don't have a Black family to heal? We even got a dog now. The dog has entered the chat. So the family that I have acquired in this lifetime, known or unknown, is divinity. But as you continue to do the work and you realize, that you have accumulated and acquired things in this lifetime that, oh man, this wasn't on brand. You got to figure out what to do about it. And you can't just get rid of your family. You just can't abandon your family. So how do you learn to live in cooperation with your family? We don't know how to cooperate. We think we do, but we don't. Everything is at the core. It's not communication. It's cooperation. It's all. You have to be able to communicate in order to cooperate and bend to each other's will. I read the Bible every day, Monday through Saturday when time permits. I work and I have other obligations, but when I can, just check to see it's 12 p.m. where you're at, or it's 12 p.m. where I'm at. Whatever time it is 12:57 now, so at 57 minutes ago, ish, just check to see if I'm on. Because I am committed to completing the Bible. And we got a lot of Bible to read. And I only made it through 2 chapters today because I was wordy today. I felt good today, so I was giving y'all more than just what was on the pages. I hope you received it. If you would like to support the content, you can always donate directly to the Cash App, Lonnie Lifestyle, Lonnie Appleton, LONEAPPLETON. If you would like something in exchange for your donation, you can always shop my merch. My merch is available at my website, LonnieLifestyle.com. I am a life coach. I am a relationship coach. Some will look at me and look at the state of my relationship and like, oh, she can't tell me nothing about my relationship. Oh, please know that my relationship is in the state that it is in because I am working on my relationship. You have to understand that all parties involved have to want to do the work. And depending on where you're taking your family, remember, I went from 0 to 100 real quick. So I am taking my family from my own agenda to God's agenda. And is my family ready? My kids have no choice but to get on board, but my spouse can choose. So he can choose or he can choose not to. We'll see. But if you determine I can't speak, or I can't advise, or I can't confirm that which you are working through within your relationship, because my relationship is doing what my relationship is doing, you're right. But those of you who understand that when you finally get in alignment with God and you start doing God's work, it says, chapter 11, love and obey the Lord. That's right. When you start loving and obeying the Lord, you have to realize that everybody can't come. Harriet Tubman had to leave her husband behind. So you can check out my coaching, my mentor services. You can check out my content. If you're not already following, please click follow or subscribe depending on where you're seeing this. I repost all of my lives on Lonnie Appleton Live on YouTube, so you can always catch it there. I do energetic work, so I do energy worksheet downloads in higher consciousness channels. You can check out the details on that on LonnieLifestyle.com. I am a 2-time author. I have a urban fiction book, as well as I have a spiritual book of my breaking free from the chains of the present day, current day slavery that we presently exist in. I broke myself free and I documented how I did it. So that is my book, What's the Best That Can Happen? That is available on Amazon. Make sure the seller is Lonnie Taylor, or you can just go to my website, LonnieLifestyle.com. I will be here tomorrow, Friday, at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It is presently 1 p.m. here in Arizona, so an hour before now, whatever time it is for you. Check me out. We'll continue to read Deuteronomy chapter 11, but until then, I will see you. Check out the content in the meantime. Have a blessed day.